The call came in just past midnight. Detective Luca Varelli was already half asleep on his couch, case files scattered like fallen leaves. The rookie on the line sounded jittery. He was patrolling near the old Trenner farmhouse, long condemned, windows boarded, roof half collapsed. But he'd seen a light flicker inside, just for a moment. "Place is supposed to be empty, sir," the rookie said. "I saw the door open, thought it might be squatters. Probably junkies or kids chasing ghost stories." "Still," Luca responded. The farmhouse loomed like a skeleton. Luca stepped inside with a flashlight. The floor creaked under his boots. Stale air choked the room. But the strangest thing wasn't the decay. It was what lay in the center of the floor. A single VHS tape, no case, no label. Sitting on a bare patch of floor swept clean of dust. No footprints, no signs of entry, just the tape. Luca took it back to the station. An old VCR from storage still worked after some coaxing. Against his better judgment, he inserted the tape and hit play. The screen flickered. It was his apartment, his furniture, his whiskey glass. The footage showed him sitting at his desk, reviewing a file, timestamp, 2 days in the future. Then came a knock at the door. He got up, opened it. A hooded figure lunged, a flash of silver, a gurgle, blood. "Cook," Luca dropped, dead. The screen cut to black. At first, Luca thought it was a threat, maybe a deep fake. Maybe someone was trying to scare him. But something in the footage unsettled him deeply. Not just the realism, but the familiarity. Over the next day, everything in the video began to match. The same coffee stain on the desk, the same files in the same order, the exact same phone call from his captain at 3:17 p.m. By nightfall, Luca wasn't sleeping. He tore his apartment apart, changed his locks, covered his windows. But 11:56 p.m. came, the time from the tape. Then came the knock. He raised his gun and opened the door. Nothing. No one. He turned and found himself face to face with himself. But this version of him was pale, gaunt, with sunken eyes and blood-specked cheeks. A whisper passed between them, then the figure vanished. The next morning, Luca checked the tape again. It had changed. Same camera angle, same timestamp. 2 more tapes appeared over the next week. One at his doorstep, one mailed to the station. No return address. Both with future events, a pedestrian getting run over in front of a diner, and a shootout in a warehouse. Luca watched helplessly as each came true. The people in the tapes were unaware of being watched, repeating their actions with robotic certainty. Every time he watched one, something changed. People forgot who he was. His neighbor called him Mr. Randall. His badge now read a different name. Even his mother's voice on the phone sounded off, like she remembered a different son. He tried showing the tapes to his captain, but the tapes were blank. Only Luca could see the footage. To others, they were just static. He began hearing whispers from his own reflection, seeing small shifts, a mole that hadn't been there yesterday, a scar that vanished. His own memories felt like guesses. He became obsessed with tracking their origins. Every thread led to nothing. Until a message arrived under his door. "You filmed the first tape. Come home." It was written in his own handwriting. Luca drove through the night, guided by memory and instinct. The address led him back to the farmhouse. Inside, the air was different. No dust, no rot. Just a single path cleared of debris leading down into the basement. He followed it. The basement had changed. Metal shelves lined the walls, stacked floor to ceiling with VHS tapes. Hundreds of them, each one labeled in black marker. Luca Varelli. Attempt 203. Attempt 204. Attempt 205. Some were burned, some shattered. All bore different dates, different timelines. In the center of the room sat a camera, still warm, and on a nearby table, a tape labeled Attempt 000, the first tape. He inserted it. The screen showed a man in a chair, Luca, but younger, less tired, speaking into the lens. If you're watching this, it means the loop didn't break. I'm sorry. I thought if I recorded the moment we could undo it, but it only made it worse. The act of watching creates it. The tape isn't a prediction. It's an infection. Time doesn't follow the watcher. It follows the recording. Behind him, another Luca walked in, and another, all of them watching themselves die, or disappear, or be forgotten. Luca sat for hours, surrounded by versions of himself trapped in magnetic tape. Every tape was a failed escape, a failed rewrite, a failed version of him trying to stop the loop. He understood now. The tapes weren't warnings, they were locks. And by watching them, he was sealing the doors they were meant to open. He reached for one, labeled Attempt 301, Burn Me, and threw it in the furnace, tucked in the basement corner. The flame hissed. Time stuttered. He burned another. Then, 5 more. The walls flickered. Tapes on shelves started vibrating. Some screamed. Reality split. He saw a version of himself in the street, another in a morgue, another still filming his own death. Time collapsed inward, trying to decide which was real. Then he saw it. In the flames, a version of himself, not watching, not running, but simply walking away, unaware, unmarked, free. The furnace coughed smoke. The shelves collapsed. When Luca awoke, he was lying in bed. Sunlight poured in. His badge read, Luca Varelli. His mother called. His apartment was exactly as he remembered. No tapes, no blood, no static, just silence. Epilogue. One last tape. 2 weeks later, he received a package with no return address. Inside, a black VHS tape. No label, just the familiar weight of a VHS tape. He stared at it for hours. He told himself he wouldn't watch it. He told himself he was free. But his hands moved on their own. Click, whir, play. The screen lit up. It was grainy. A figure sat in a chair, blood on his hands. It was Luca, but not from the past, not from the future, from now. He stared into the camera, and whispered, "This is the last tape."